Good morning to all. Today we are going to start the second part of the first lesson, that is sexual reproduction. Yesterday we have studied about the asexual reproduction. So you know that what is asexual reproduction? It is the reproduction that takes place without the involvement of gametes. That is asexual reproduction. Today we are going to see about the next type of reproduction, that is sexual reproduction. So you know that our chapter's name is reproduction in plants. So today we are going to study about the sexual reproduction in plants. Asexual reproduction, that it is the type of reproduction that takes place without the involvement of gametes. So what will be the sexual reproduction? It is the reproduction that takes place by the formation of gametes and also fusion of gametes. So what is sexual reproduction? It is the process by which the reproduction takes place by the formation and the fusion of gametes. By the formation, the reproduction that takes place by the formation and fusion of gametes. Gametes, you know that there are two types of gametes, the male gametes and female gametes. So fusion of male and female gametes takes place. Fusion of male gametes and female gametes takes place during sexual reproduction. The first one, that is formation of gamete, is known as gametogenesis. The formation of gamete is known as gametogenesis, and the fusion of gametes is said to be termed as fertilization. So the production of gametes, formation or production of gametes is known as gametogenesis. Gametogenesis, and this fusion of gametes is said to be fertilization. Fertilization. So this is about the what is the definition about sexual reproduction. So once again listen, reproduction that takes place by the formation and fusion of gametes is known as male and female gametes is known as sexual reproduction. The formation of gametes is known as gametogenesis, and the fusion of gametes is known as fertilization. So in we have studied in the 11th standard, we have studied there are three types of fusion, that is gamete fusion, that is isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. So there are three types of fusions are there in gamete fusion, gametes, that is isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. So the gametes may be motile or immotile. So gametes, some of the gametes can move from one place to another and some will not be moved from one place to another. That is motile or non-motile. So what are the three types of fusion? Isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. These are the three types of fusion, that is gametic fusion. Isogamy, anisogamy and oogamy. Next one, so in plants, that is most of the algae etc., algae, bryophyte etc., the fertilization takes place in external manner. That is external fertilization is seen in algae and bryophytes. In higher plants we can see that the fertilization is internal. So fertilization is internal in higher plants. So there are two types of fertilization, external fertilization and internal fertilization. If the fertilization takes place outside the body, it is said to be external fertilization. Example, algae, bryophytes. Next one, internal fertilization, that is higher plants. The fertilization takes place inside the flower or inside the plant body, that is known as internal fertilization. So this is about the introduction about the sexual reproduction. Next one, which part of the plant is involved in fertilization? So that is reproduction. It is flower. For that is flower. What is a flower? It is the condensed shoot. It is said to be the condensed shoot, and it is the most attractive part of the flower. So it is the reproductive part. Flower is the reproductive part So this is sexual reproduction. So what is the part of the plant which is, let us see what is the part of the plant which is involved in sexual reproduction. First, that is flower. Flower is the most attractive part of the plant. So it helps in the reproduction of a plant. It will attract the human beings as well as insects, birds, etc. for the purpose of pollination, etc. So there are different steps we have to study about the reproduction. First one, we have to study about flower. We studied that in 11th standard. We have studied that there are four parts of a flower. That is calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So what are the four parts of a flower? Calyx. Second one, corolla. Third one, androecium. And fourth one is gynoecium. So these are the four parts of the flower: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. First two are said to be the accessory organs. These are all said to be the accessory organ, and these two are the reproductive organs. That is, this androecium is said to be the male reproductive part, gynoecium is the female reproductive part. So these two are accessory organs. And first, androecium is the male part of the flower and gynoecium is the female part of the flower. Female part of the flower. So this is about the structure of a flower. Next, again, flower is the reproductive part, that is the condensed shoot which will develop into the reproductive part. That it mainly consists of four parts: calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. Calyx and corolla are the accessory organs. Androecium is the male part of the plant flower and gynoecium is the female part. Next, coming to the pre-fertilization events. Next step is pre-fertilization events. What are the events that is happening? That is, the reproduction takes place in 3 steps. Reproduction takes place in how many steps? 3 steps. That is pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. So what are the 3 steps? Pre-fertilization, second one, fertilization, and third one is post-fertilization. So these are the 3 stages that is taking place during the reproduction. This pre-fertilization means before fertilization. What are the events? That is formation of that is pollen grains, ovule formation, etc. takes place during the fertilization, pre-fertilization stage. Here fertilization, the fusion takes place. The fusion of male and female gametes takes place. And post-fertilization, after fertilization, what are the changes that is taking place in a flower? That is coming under the post-fertilization. That is, what are the changes that is taking place after fertilization in a plant? So there are 3 stages: pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. First we are going to study about the pre-fertilization events. Pre-fertilization events. So what is pre-fertilization? That is, first the formation of anther. The anther means the androecium. You know that androecium, anther is considered as the main reproductive part, and the formation of this anther is taking place during the first step. That is the first step in the pre-fertilization event. So you know that the leaf primordia will be converted. That will be by the hormonal process. It will be converted into flower. That is flower primordia. Leaf primordia will be converted into flower primordia. Then next, male reproductive organ. Male reproductive organ is the androecium. First one, the male reproductive organ. We are going to study about the male reproductive organ, that is androecium. Male reproductive organ androecium. So androecium, and that is represented by a stamen. The androecium is represented by stamen. The stamen consists of two parts, that is anther and a filament. You know already you have studied in 11th standard. So the male androecium is represented by a stamen, and this stamen consists of two parts, anther and a filament. This is anther and this is the filament. So these are the structure of a stamen. So it consists of two parts. Androecium, the main component is stamens, and the stamen is divided, consists of two parts, anther and the filament. So this is the male reproductive part of the plant. So next one we are going to study about the development of anther. How this anther is developed, or the stamen is developed. So it occurs, the first form, that is the anther develops through mass of cells. In the primary stage, it will occurs as a mass of cells, that is sporogenous cells will be formed. It is formed as a mass of cells, hypodermal cells, and it is surrounded by epidermis. So pre-fertilization stage, first step is studied about the androecium. Next one, development of androecium, development of anther. So development, already I told that it is a mass of, it appears as a mass of cells surrounded by an epidermis. It appears as a four-lobed structure. Already it is, you already have studied the structure of anther. It is four-lobe. Here first it will appear as a four-lobed, not perfect four-lobed structure, somewhat resembles a four-lobed structure. Four-lobed structure. It consists of a mass of central mass of a numerous mass of cells will be present at the center. And it is surrounded by epidermis. So first it will appear as a four-lobed structure. It is a mass of cells surrounded by epidermis. It is a first stage of anther. First stage of anther is like this, that epidermis, it is surrounded by epidermis. Next stage, a mass of cells at the end of each lobe will start to differentiate into another group of cells, into a separate cells known as anther archisporium. It is known as archisporium. It will develop, the end of the cells will develop as separate mass of cells will be formed at the four corners of the anther, and it is known as archisporium, and these cells are known as archisporium or archisporial cells. These cells start to divide anticlinally and periclinally. So two types of division, anticlinal, longitudinal and transverse division will take place in these cells, and it will start to and forms two types of cells, that is parietal cells and inner sporogenous cells. So two types of cells, the hypodermal cells, that is divide into, this hypodermal cells will divide into two anticlinally and periclinally to form two mouse of cells, that is towards the outside it is known as parietal tissues and towards inside it is known as sporogenous tissue. Parietal cells and sporogenous cells. The parietal cells go on dividing anticlinally and periclinally to form four anther walls. That is, there are four anther walls are there, and this parietal cells are dividing further. Gets shown divided into further to form four layers of the anther. That is, first one is already the epidermis is there. Next to the epidermis is the endothelium, middle layer and tapetum. These are the three layers which are formed from this parietal cell. So how many layers are there? Parietal cells will divide anticlinally and periclinally to form three layers of the anther. First layer already it is present in this mass of anther. Second layer is endothelium. Third one middle layer, and last finally it is tapetum. Endothelium, second one middle layer, and final one is the tapetum. These are the layers which are formed by the division of parietal cells, that is by anticlinal and the periclinal, longitudinal and the transverse division of this parietal cells will undergo division and forms the three layers of the anther, that is endothelium, middle layer and tapetum. The next one is the sporogenous cells. What happens to the sporogenous cells? That is, it also go on dividing to form a mass of cells So coming to the so you have understood that first one how the walls are formed, that is by the division of the parietal cells. So parietal cells, when you are drawing, you can see this is the epidermis, second layer endothelium, third layer is the middle layer, and the last finally it is tapetum. So these are the four layers which are formed from the parietal cells of the hypodermis. Then next one, this is we have developed the anther wall. Next one, microsporogenesis. What is microsporogenesis? Microsporogenesis is the process of formation of microspores or pollen grains from the microspore mother cell by the meiotic division. A haploid, that is a haploid mother cell, microspore mother cell will be divided into diploid microspores, that is known as, a diploid microspore mother cell will be converted, will be divided meiotically to form the haploid microspores, that is known as microsporogenesis. So once again, so this is anther, during the formation of anther, the pollen grains, that is sporogenesis takes place. What is sporogenesis means? The formation of haploid microspores from the diploid microspore mother cell. Haploid microspores or pollen grains will be formed from a diploid microspore mother cell. So that's the first step of pollen grain formation. So what happens during this microsporogenesis? The sporogenous cells, already I have told that two types of cells will be formed by the anticlinal and periclinal division, that is parietal cells and sporogenous cells. The sporogenous cells which is present at the center, it will go on dividing, it will get divided to form a group of cells that is known as sporogenous cells. A group of cells will be formed with nucleus. So this sporogenous cells, parietal cells, the sporogenous cells divide to form a group of cells having a single nucleus. Later it will divide to form microspore mother cells. Microspore mother cells will be having diploid nucleus, and this again divide to form a tetrad. Form a microspore tetrad will be formed. That is, 4 cells will be joined together. It forms a microspore tetrad. This microspore tetrad again will get separated from each other, and each one is said to be a pollen grain. So what is the pollen, how the pollen grains are formed? The microspore mother cell will go on dividing and forms a group of cells. The spore cells will be joined together to form microspore tetrad. Microspore tetrad will be formed. Microspore tetrad will be formed, and this tetrad after maturity, after it will get divided, it will be separated into single group. That is, they will be separated. 4 cells which are joined together will be separated into each pollen grains. So this is about the anther. So how the pollen grains are formed in the anther. It is the so once again listen. Development of anther. First step, anther will appear as a group of tissues. It will appear as a group of tissues which is covered by epidermis. The end of the hypodermal cells will be separated from 1 or 2 cells or group of cells will be separated, will get differentiated to form a mass of cells, and which is dividing anticlinally and periclinally to form 2 types of cells, that is parietal cells and sporogenous cells. The parietal cells will go on dividing to form the 4 layers of the and the 4 layers or the 3 layers of the endodermis, middle layer and tapetum. This is formed from the parietal cells. The next one is sporogenous cells, which will get divided into different microspore mother cells. Will be divided into microspore mother cell, and each microspore mother cell forms a microspore tetrad, which consists of 4 nucleus. Later it will get the microspore mother cell will get divided into pollen grains, will be separated. The joint tetrad stage will be get separated and it will forms the pollen grains. The next one. So in some condition, the microsporangium in some plants, that is example calotropis. Calotropis, you already know that what is calotropis. In that the microsporangium will not be get separated. They will be joined together to form a structure known as pollinium. It is joined together. The microsporangium will not be separated. All the pollen grains will be joined together to form a single Y-shaped structure. That is inverted Y-shaped structure known as pollinium. So this is polynium. It is in the form of an inverted Y-shaped structure, and these are known as translator. The structure, the Y-shaped structure, the wing-like structure is known as translator, and it is joined together by thread-like structures known as retinacula. So it is in, sorry, it is in calotropis. Example, calotropis. Calotropis, you can see the polynium, that is microsporangium, or joined together to form a mass of tissue, joined together to form a mass, and it is known as polynium. And this polynium, it is in the shape of an inverted Y, and is joined, that is the inverted Y shape. The wing-like structure is known as translator, and they are joined together by a small thread-like structure known as retinacula. So this is about the microsporogenesis. Next one, tears of and the mature anther. We are going to study about the tears of mature anther. Tears of mature anther. So mature anther, already we have just gone through the how the development of anther takes place. In that we have studied about the 4 walls of the anther. That is, first one, epidermis. There are 4 walls finally. That is epidermis. Second one, endothelium. Third one, middle layer, and finally tapetum. These are the 4 layers. So it is a 4-lobed structure, and it is a 4-lobed structure. It is a tetrasporangial. It is a 4-lobed structure. That is, you can see it is a somewhat a butterfly shaped structure. We can see about the structure of tears of mature anther. First one, we have to study about the anther walls. First one, which is we are going to study about the structure of anther walls. There are 4 walls. First layer is the epidermis. So the outermost layer is the epidermis. Second, it is protective in function. What is the function of this epidermis? It is just a protective layer. It is made up of a single parenchyma cells. The next layer is the endothelium. First one, epidermis. So we are studying about the anther walls. We are studying about anther walls. Anther walls. First one, epidermis. It is single layer, and it is made up of parenchyma cells. And what is the function of this epidermis is protection. It will protect the inner part of the anther. Second layer is the endothelium. Second layer is endothelium. It is made up of radially elongated cells. So what elongated cells? Endothelium, it is made up of readily elongated cells and it is hygroscopic in nature. What is the nature of these cells? That is hygroscopic. Hygroscopic means it will get attracted towards water. It will be absorbing water during the dry condition. That is hygroscopic. Endothelium is hygroscopic. Hygroscopic in nature. In aquatic plants, etc., mostly in aquatic plants, this endothelium is absent, totally absent in aquatic plants. The next layer. Next layer is the middle layer. So, in some in endothelium, the thickening is absent towards the jaw, that is lobed structure. That is, it is converted into a small opening known as stomium. A small group of cells known as stomium will be present. Stomium. This stomium helps in the dispersal of, helps in the breaking of anther and helps in the dispersal of pollen grains to the atmosphere, to the environment. That is the function of, that is in some plants it is absent, stomium is absent. That is endothelial wall will be converted, that is converted into stomium. The stomium, what is the function of stomium? It will helps in the dispersal of pollen grains. The next one, middle layer. Next layer is middle layer. It is made up of 1 or 2 layers of parenchyma cells. Middle layer is made up of 1 or 2 layers of middle layer. It is 1 or 2 layer. So what it will get this crushed off and the maturity of the anther. When the anther get matured, it will, the middle layer will be crushed off. So next layer is tapetum. Tapetum is the next layer. What it is the main part of the anther wall. What is the function of this tapetum is it nourishes the developing pollen grains. It has the capacity to nourish that is giving food materials, supplying the food material. It will supply the food materials to the developing microspores. That's the function of tapetum. Then it consists of 2 types. That is secretory tapetum and invasive tapetum. So there are 2 types of tapetum is there, or the tapetum. What is the function? It is nourishing the developing pollen grains. The main function of tapetum, it will nourishing, that is supplying food for the developing microspores or pollen grains. The tapetum, it is divided into 2, secretory tapetum and invasive tapetum. Secretory tapetum, it will remain without any changes till the end of maturation of the anther. It will be remain intact without any changes. It will be remaining and it will be supplying the food materials to the developing pollen grains. The invasive tapetum, the tapetum will the cellular structure will be destroyed and it will form a mass of substance known as periplasmodium, through which it is nourishing the developing pollen grains. So secretory tapetum and invasive tapetum. Secretory tapetum, it is remain cellular and it will give the nourishment to the developing spores, microspores. And this invasive tapetum, what happens to the cells will get disturbed, that is the cellular structure will be destroyed and it will be appearing as a periplasmodium, and it will be supplying through this periplasmodium, it will be supplying the food materials to the developing microspore. So this is about the tapetum. Next, Functions of tapetum. So once again listen, tiers of mature anther, tiers of mature anther. First we are studying about the anther walls. There are 4 walls are there. First one epidermis, second one endothelium, and third one middle layer, and finally last one is the tapetum. So first one epidermis. Epidermis is the outermost layer. It is made up of parenchyma, single layer of parenchyma cells. It is protective in function. Second layer is endothelium. It is made up of radially elongated cells, and it helps in the formation of stomium in the globe structure, and it helps in the dispersal of spores or pollen grains to the atmosphere. Next one, middle layer. Middle layer, it is 2 or 3 layers are present. It will be crushed during the maturity of the anther. Tapetum is the main part of the anther wall. It is more giving, what is the main function? It is it is giving the nourishment to the developing pollen grains or pollen microspores. And this tapetum, it is of 2 types, secretory tapetum and invasive tapetum. The secretory tapetum, the cells will be intact and there will not be any changes in the cell, and these cells will be providing the nutrients to the developing microspores. Next one, invasive tapetum. The cells will be destroyed, and the protoplasts etc. will form, the protoplasts of the cell of these cells will form a periplasmodium, and these cells will be providing the food to the developing microspores. Next one, functions of tapetum. Functions of tapetum. Already I told that main function is it is providing the food materials. It is providing food materials to the developing embryo. Developing microspores. So first point, that is it is providing the food materials for the developing microspores or pollen grains. Second one, it will provide sporopollenin for the formation of pollen wall. The tapetum will provide functions of tapetum. First one, it will be providing food materials. Provide food materials. Food materials for the developing microspores. Second one, it will provide sporopollenin. Sporopollenin for that is the wall of the pollen grains or materials. That is materials for the formation of pollen grains will be provided by this tapetum. That is sporopollenin. Next one, third one, it is pollen kit. It will help the pollen grains to provide substances for the formation of pollen kit through these bodies. Pollen kit formation is done by that is it will protect the protecting layer of the pollen grains will be provided by this tapetum. Then finally it helps in the rejection. Helps in the formation of rejection bodies. That is the material, the protein which is required for the formation of rejection bodies by the stigma is provided by the tapetum. The rejection means some of the pollen grains will not be accepted by the stigma and it will be rejected out. And this rejection bodies are formed from the protein which is provided by the tapetum. Provide protein bodies, protein for formation of rejection bodies. So these are the 4 functions, main functions of tapetum. First one, it will provide food materials for the developing pollen grains. Second one, it will also provide sporopollenin for the that is the wall of pollen grain. It is provided the material for the formation of sporopollenin or wall. It is provided by the tapetum. Third one, the pollen kit formation. The yellow color pollen kit is also formed by the materials which are given by the tapetum. Finally, the proteins which are formed for the rejection bodies, which is formed by the rejection bodies, is also provided by the tapetum. The next one, coming to the anther cavity. Next, so anther wall is over. Next one is anther cavity. Anther cavity. The cavity present inside the anther is known as where the pollen grains are present, or the microspores are present is known as the anther cavity. This is the anther cavity. Anther cavity where the microspores or pollen grains are present. So this layer, this cavity where the anthers or this pollen grains are present is known as the anther cavity. Next, connective. Next layer is the connective. This is the second one, and first one it is anther wall, and the third one it is connective tissues. Connective, what is a connective? It is a mass of cells which is present at the center of the anther. It is providing the cells for the formation of anther. So, it is a mass of cells which is present at the center. So, this is about the structure of anther, tiers of mature anther. So, there are tiers of anther. We have studied about the four walls of the anther. Main four walls are there: epidermis, endothelium, tapetum, middle layer and tapetum. Then next one, anther cavity. The cavity which is present next to the wall is known where the pollen grains are embedded are known as anther cavity. Next, the last one is the connective tissue. It is present at the center of the anther. The next, coming to the pollen grains or microspores. Next one is pollen grains. Pollen grains or microspore and pollen grain. So, what is microspore? The microspore, that is the microspore mother cell, the sporogenous mother cells will divide and forms the microspore. It is tetrad in nature, and microspore tetrad will be formed, and it will split into four types of spores known as microspores. The pollen microspore tetrad will split into for each cells, and it is known as microspores, and these microspores develop into the pollen grains. The pollen grains, when we are coming to the structure of pollen grain, it consists of two layers, two walls are there, that is two walls, extend and indent. There are two walls are present in the pollen grains. First, so this is the structure of pollen grain. When we are seeing through microscope, you can see the just outer layer, internal structure. You can see the two layers, that is indent. It consists of two walls, indent, inner indent and outer exit. Indent and exit. So inner layer, that is indent, it is smooth and nature. It is made up of cellulose, hemicellulose, pectin, etc. What material? The material which is making this internal wall, that is indent, is hemicellulose, cellulose, pectin, etc. Outer wall, it consists of, in some regions, it consists of small pore structures. Pore means small openings will be present in the indent, and it is known as germ bone. It's known as germ pore. The outermost covering, outer wall of the pollen grain is known as exile. It is rough in nature. It is somewhat hard in nature, and it is made up of sporopollenin, pollen gate, hemicellulose, etc. Then this pollen grain consists, that is based on the when the pollen germinates, when the pollen start to germinate, the pollen tube will be formed through this pollen germ pore. So pollen grain, when we are coming to the structure of pollen grain, it consists of two walls, that is inner indent and outer exile. Indent, it is very smooth and it is made up of pectin, cellulose and hemicellulose, and it is consists of small round structures known as germ pores, which later forms a way for the formation of pollen tube. Next layer, the outermost layer is the exile. It is rough in nature, not smooth. It is rough in nature. It is made up of sporopollenin, pollen gate, hemicellulose, etc. The shape of the pollen grains may vary according to the species. So some may be spherical in shape, but some of the pollen grains will be spherical. Spherical in shape. Next, ellipsoid, fusiform, crescent shaped and comma shaped. So these are some of the shapes of pollen grains. So it may be spherical, round in shape. Ellipsoid, somewhat oval in shape. This is shape. This is the ellipsoidal shape. Fusiform, both the ends will be narrow and the center it will be swollen. The crescent shape, crescent means comma shape. These are some of the shapes of the pollen grains. Then coming to the size of the pollen grains, you can see that the pollen grain size may range from 10 micrometer to 100 micrometers. That is 10 micrometer myostosis. Myostosis is an example for pollens which are having small, that is 10 micrometer. The bigger one, that is it will belong to the family Cucurbitaceae, Nictinaceae, etc. It consists of 100 micrometers. So the range the range of the pollen grains will be between 10 to 100 micrometers. The next one, development of male gametes. Development of male gametes. The male gametes are formed inside the pollen grains. So the pollen grain consists of a single nucleus. The pollen grain consists of a single nucleus. So during the pollen grains start to mature, the nucleus which is present in the center of the pollen grains will start to divide into two. It will get divided into two, that is, and forms a two cells. Two cells will be formed inside a single pollen grain, and it is said to be generative cell and vegetative cell. So two cells, the pollen grains, during the development of male gametes or gametophyte, the pollen grains which is consisting of a single nucleus, it will divide into two cells. The nucleus will be divided first, and later it is the cells will be divided, not a division, a small partition will be seen in between two nucleus, and it forms two types of cells, that is generative cell and vegetative cells. So generative cell forms the nucleus will divide into two and forms a small layer. Cell wall will be formed, layer will be formed between the two cells, and forms two unequal cells, not equal cells. It forms two unequal cells, that is generative cell and vegetative cell. generative cell and vegetative cell. This generative cell will start the new mostly the pollen. Before that is the pollen grains will be released or will be sent outside from the and the in this two cell condition. It is mostly in most of the plants the pollens will be mostly liberated during the two cell stage. In some plants it will become three cell. The generative cell again will be divided into one more cell, and it will be three cell. It will be liberated at the three cell stage. So mostly in most of the plants it is liberated during the two cell stage. That after reaching the pollen grains will move on by through air or by animals or etc. It will be transferred to the stigma, and in the stigma it will start to germinate. The pollen grains will start to germinate. During the germination, after reaching the stigma, the vegetative cell will degenerate. The vegetative cell will be degenerated, and the generative cell will divide into two. The generative cell will divide into two, form the two male gametes. This male gamete, the pollen intake will grow and through the germ pore and forms the pollen tube. This is germination of pollen. Germination after reaching the stigma of the gynecium, it will start to germinate. The pollen grains will start to germinate. During the germination stage, it will divide the nucleus. The generative nucleus will divide into two, form two male gametes, and the intake will be growing to form a pollen tube. Pollen tube will be formed. The vegetative, one of the two, it forms the two nucleus is also formed at the end of this pollen tube. Vegetative cell will be disintegrated, and the generative cell will divide into two, form male gametes. It forms, there is also a tube nucleus is present at the pollen tube. So this is about the germination of pollen grains. It will take place in the stigma. When it reaches the stigma, it will start to germinate and forms the pollen tube. So this is about that is male structure of the flower is completed. Male part of the flower has been completed. That is, once again it is and there is the male part of that is stamens. Androecium, the stamen is represented as stamens. It consists of two parts, anther and filament. Stalk, that is main part is the anther, and the filament, that is stalk of the anther is known as filament. This anther, we have studied about the structure of anther. That is, it consists of 4 wall layers and anther cavity and a connective tissue. The anther cavity consists of microspores or pollen grains. The pollen grains, it consists of 2 layers. When we are studying about the pollen grain structure, it consists of 2 walls, that is outer exant and inner intake. The intake is smooth and it is made up of pectin, hemicellulose and cellulose. Exant, it is rough in nature. It will give a rough nature to the pollen grains. It is the intake consists of a small opening known as germ pore, through which the pollen tube will be formed. Next, the germination of pollens. The germination of pollen grains takes place by the formation of pollen tube. When it reaches the stigma of the gynecium, start to germinate, and from the generative cell will be get divided into 2 male gametes, which will be taking part in the fertilization. 2 male gametes will be formed during the time of pollen germination. Then sporopollenin, we have studied. What is sporopollenin? It is a substance which is formed by the pollen ball. Pollen ball is formed by the Sporopollen. Sporopollen. So the sporopollen, it forms the wall of the pollen grains. It is forming the wall of the pollen grains, and it will provide the pollen grains the capacity to withstand the that is undesirable conditions. So it can deposit the pollen deposits, etc. can be protected by the sporopollen. It is giving the pollen grains to overcome the situation. So it can be said as fossil deposit. The fossil deposits of pollen are protected by this sporopollen material of the pollen grains. It will protect the pollen grains from even the UV radiation. UV radiation may affect the pollen grains, so these are also protected by this sporopollen. Then next, pollen kit. What is pollen kit? Pollen kit, this is the yellow color region. When you are seeing the pollen grains, you can see that yellow color structure is surrounding the pollen grains. That is formed of pollen kits. It is made up of carotenoids, and it will be attracting the yellow color. It will be attracting the insects towards the flower, and it will be helping. It helps in that is pollination of the pollen grain. Pollens will be taking place with the help of this pollen grains. It is made up of carotenoids. Okay. So this is about the two wall layers of pollen grains. So the wall materials. The wall materials is made up of. It is already I told it is made up of sporopollen and pollen kit. So this is about the structure of pollen grains. So we have completed the male part of the flower. We have completed. Next class we are going to study about the female part of the flower. So once I just revise the lesson, this topic, just come across the topic and just make the function of the main is the functions of tapetum and the anther wall. Anther wall is one of the important part of this topic. So if you want, you can write down the functions of tapetum. So once again listen. It supplies nutrition to the. So if you want, you can write down the functions of tapetum. First point, it provides nutrition to the developing microspores. It supplies nutrition for the developing microspores. Second one, it provides sporopollen. It provides sporopollen for the formation of pollen balls. Provides sporopollen for the developing pollen balls. Then through obese bodies. Third one, the pollen kit material. The pollen kit material is also given by this tapetum. The pollen kit material is supplied the tapetum. And finally, the last one, the exine protein is which is responsible for the rejection reaction. The exine protein which is responsible for the rejection reaction is formed from the tapetum. Exine protein for rejection bond is also provided by the tapetum. So if you want, you can write down this and study as a homework. Okay. So to our next class we can see about the female reproductive part. So today we have completed our male reproductive part of a flower. Thank you.